Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's so cool to have you here together with me after these 3 weekends of intense racing between Poland and Czech Republic. I'm happy to film, let's say, something calm, and especially this video, this is going to be a Q&A. It has been a while since the last Q&A that I did on my YouTube channel, so I like to do this kind of videos even if they don't get a lot of views, but it's a way to answer in a better way to your questions that you leave under my videos, and also, let's say, to have a talk all together. I will do my best in order to share my knowledge and experience. So let's start with the first question. A few weeks ago I asked you here on YouTube with a post and also from my Instagram stories to ask me anything about RC Rally. The first question is not coming directly from the Q&A, let's say like this, but it's a nice comment that I received under my last video with a few interesting questions that I would like to answer now in this video. Thank you for the nice comment and about your questions. So I would like to know more about the maintenance. How much time do you usually have for that between the stages? Do you have a checklist which you go through after each stage? Is there something that I need special attention on your car or in case a certain track conditions? I like this question because it touches a few points that honestly I have not explained here on my YouTube channel, even if I'm doing videos since 1 year. Let's put it like that. If on a RC Rally event we have 8 stages, let's say after the first stage we are not allowed to touch our RC model because we are under the park firm. So after the first stage we wait till the second stage, and after the second stage we are allowed to check our RC car or to repair it without going through any penalties. And during this time, that's around 30 to 40 minutes. It depends how many people are taking part in a RC Rally event. What I do usually, the first thing I do is to check the screws and the bolts, because the worst thing that can happen is to lose a screw during a stage, because it means that you're going to lose a lot of time for something, let's say, stupid as a not tight enough screw. And about your last question about the track conditions, the special attentions are the right tires, and if during a stage there are, let's say, some hard obstacles, like in Czech Republic they use during the events some bridges that are made by metal. So if you hit them in the right spot, you're going to destroy your RC car. What do you think about tire types? Do they have a big impact on your driving? Which tires do you have? Well, the tires are extremely important. Keep in consideration that between a premium set of tires and a low quality one, in a stage, let's say, of 1 minute, there are 10 seconds of difference. So you are faster with the top quality tires. I like to keep it simple. I have just 3 sets of tires: Rally Block tires, HPI Pirelli soft tires, and pin tires. But racing in Czech Republic, I saw that for tarmac, there the guys are using some different tires that are even better than Pirelli ones. So I'm trying to understand how to move in the upcoming months and if to change something. Any timed runs on the exact same courses, comparing the XB4 versus the Tamiya XV01. As you know, till the last season I was racing using a Tamiya XV01, and with that chassis I was able to win a RC Rally regional championship here in Poland. I still have that chassis. Once I will be able to set up in the right way my X-Ray XB4, and let's say I will feel confident, I would like to do a video comparing the X-Ray XB4 and my Tamiya XV01. So a bit of patience, and in upcoming, let's say, months, I will publish a video comparison between these two chassis. What transmitters have you used? Which one would you recommend? I started to play with RC cars 3.5 years ago. I started with a very basic transmitter that cost me around 25 euro, if I remember correctly. And as a beginner, it was more than enough. Then I switched to the Samba MX6, a very good transmitter, but a bit hard if we talk about the sensibility on the throttle and on the steering. Right now I'm using the Samba MT5. It's an extremely good RC transmitter, but if you're a beginner, I will suggest you to start from a basic one. And after that you will feel confident enough to switch to something better. I suggest you to buy or a Samba MX6 or in case the MT5. I really like the MT5 because through some screws it allows you to, let's say, regulate the toughness of the steering and of the throttle. But not only that, it allows you to regulate a lot of things, so in case you can consider to buy this transmitter if you feel that your basic transmitter is not anymore enough for you. Did you consider to use two different cars, one for tarmac and the other for dirt rallies? Honestly, at the moment, no, because I'm still searching for the right setup for off-road and the right setup for, let's say, tarmac stages. The main change that I do on my X-Ray XB4 is to change the dampers. I have long ones for off-road stages and short ones for tarmac stages. Of course, the difference are the springs, the holes in the pistons, the oil that I use in these dampers. And also, it's not going to be economical, sustainable to have one RC model for on-road stages and the other one for off-road stages. How to balance between sliding and grips? I think that you mean how to set up the model in the right way if we have slippery conditions or high grip conditions. Slippery conditions, lower gradation of differential oils, lower gradation of oils in the dampers, and softer springs. Higher grip conditions, higher gradation of differential oil, higher gradation of oil in the dampers, and also harder springs. And of course, different tires. The most important thing to get right first for a solid setup. Well, I think that the most important thing is to be able to know what to do in order to correct the understeer and the oversteer. Because in some tracks it's cool to have, let's say, a bit of understeer in order to don't lose speed in the corners, at least in the way that I used to drive, or to be able to make the rear to oversteer in order to be able to fit the car through the tight corners. Also, in my opinion, what you have to get right is the gradation of the differential oils. Because if you go to an RC rally event where there are extremely slippery conditions and your differentials oil are too thick, your RC model is going to be undrivable and you are not going to be able to save the situation unless you are going to change the differentials. How do you start RC rally as a beginner? Beginner to rally, not RC in general. So, if I understood correctly, you already have some experience with RC cars and you would like to start in the right way RC rally. So you have to buy the right car. In my opinion, the best one that you can buy for RC rally is the Tamiya XV02, and also you have to buy a fast servo. Because as you saw on my YouTube channel, when I film these stages, we have a lot of corners and you have to change the direction in a quite fast way. So having a fast servo, it will allow you to be fast through the corners. My club is going to start rally racing soon. Can you share the rules that your club follows? Best of luck, I wish you a lot of victories, And about the rules, they are quite simple. They are very similar in Europe, so I'm able to race in Poland, Czech Republic, and let's say Spain without having any problem. And they are about limiting the type of the engine, the maximum weight of the car, and some other measures. So what I'm going to do, in the description of this video, I will share the link to the official regulations of the Moravia Cup Championship from Czech Republic. You can translate it with Google Translator from Czech to English or some other languages, and you will be able to replicate those rules to your RC club. What camera do you use for your amazing onboards? Shots from your head. Yeah, you're referring to the clips through the stages. I use a Insta360 Go 3, which is this camera. I like it because it's extremely small and it's smaller than a GoPro. Of course, there are pros and cons comparing these two cameras, and I like it because once I put it on my hat, I even don't feel it, because through this case I can control the settings and what the camera sees when it's not attached to this case. Thank you for this question, because I think that it's a good idea to make a video about this camera and how I use it in order to film my RC Rally stages. Does 4WD and 2WD matter in RC Rally? Yes, there is a quite big gap between the 2WD cars and 4WD cars, taking consideration that in a RC Rally event we have different classes. One is for 4WD and the other one is for 2WD. Honestly, I don't like the 2WD cars because I like to be fast, and with 4WD cars you can have a lot of fun while driving them and making them slide on dirt. What viscosity is good for the dampers? I suggest you to start with 300 in the front and 150 in the rear. For RC Rally, this is a good viscosity. How do you know what tire to use for different terrain? Do you aim for grip or sliding? Well, experience. Experience teaches you how to choose the right tire for the right moment, and honestly, in the 90% of the cases, I'm always aiming for grip. Also, I made a video about RC Rally tires. I'm going to put it somewhere here. As a complete novice, how much is the expected cost to maintain an RC Rally car like the Tamiya XV01? For Tamiya in general, the cost for maintain a RC car is quite low because the parts have a, let's say, low price and the quality is good. So they're going to last for quite a long time. Based on my experience, for the Tamiya XV01, because of the weight distribution, the front differential is going to suffer a bit. So each, let's say, 2 months of intense use, we need to replace the front differentials and the gears around it. And it's going to cost you 15 euro in general, because if I remember correctly, the differential of the Tamiya XV01 without counting the gears inside of it cost around 5 euros. Other than that, time to time is good to change the pulleys of the belt. And talking about the belt, it can last 1 year of intense use without any problem. So in general, we're going to have quite low cost on maintenance for the Tamiya XV01. I watch your videos on Reels and I'm hooked. That's cool. I'm really interested in starting this new hobby. Any recommendations for beginner builds? Thank you in advance. Well, beginner. If you're a beginner, the most important thing for a RC Rally car is the servo. I suggest you to buy a fast one. And also, about the cars, I suggest you low budget Tamiya TT02, but you will need to modify it in order to increase the ground clearance. I made a video, I'm going to put it here. Then you can consider to buy the Tamiya XV01, or in case, if you have the budget, you can consider to buy the Tamiya XV02. I know that I'm only suggesting Tamiya. No, I'm not sponsored by them, but honestly, in my opinion, they are extremely good car with a very good balance between cost and quality. Will you get the new Tamiya XM01 Pro? No, because I'm focusing on the X-Ray XB4, and when I go to race in RC Rally events, I just race in the 4WD class. Hello, how are the rally tracks and special stages planned and built? Well, the organizer used a lot of imaginations in order to make the RC Rally stages, let's say, difficult and fun at the same time. And I've made here on my YouTube channel a video where I show how RC Rally stages are created from zero. So I'm going to put the video here. But in general, it's important to have a lot of corners and to, let's say, make some intersections in order to be able to close a part of, let's say, of a stage in order to open another one, and from a course to have more stages. So during a day, even if the stages are similar between them, they are never, let's say, the same. I got quite focused in answering your questions, but I would like to say to all of you a big thank you, because I really like to answer to your questions and try to be helpful in order to make RC Rally easier for all of you. Also, I like to read your questions because they give me ideas to the video that I can make between rallies here on my YouTube channel. I will make a video for sure about the camera that I use, because it's quite useful to film yourself while driving, because it helps you to understand where to improve or if there are some problems in the setup. Other than that, guys, if you have other questions, leave a comment here under this video. If I will have time, I will try to answer you, and also leave a like in order to support my channel. I think that's all for this video. Thank you for staying with me till now, and see you next week for a new one. Ciao!